All right, what is going on? It is Jordan McLeod here, co-owner of Apex CEOs and our six-figure messaging secrets flagship program. Right here, I am joined with my main man, Austin Campbell. He is a one-to-one client of ours. He's also a six-figure messaging secret customer. And I've been doing a lot of one-to-one work with Austin. I think now like probably 3 weeks at this point. We've done a lot of great one-to-one work together. I've been really helping him with his conversations, helping them move forward to the point where he's closing deals in Messenger, which we'll talk more about those nitty-gritty details later. But I wanted to bring on Austin to really share his story, talk about his experience with the one-to-one coaching program, being a part of the six-figure messaging secrets program, and really talk about his story before we started working together. Because Austin, I really think you have a pretty inspiring story that I think a lot of people are going to relate with and they're going to really find inspiring. If you want to just tell people a little bit about yourself and then we can hop into it, man.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah. So I started in the affiliate space about 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago with this paid ads program. And I ended up wasting a lot of money with it for about 8 months. And then I ended up getting into organic marketing with multiple programs. I didn't really have any success whatsoever. I was trying a lot of things. I was learning the skills of organic marketing, branding and selling and offer creation and audience building to the best of my ability. However, nothing really clicked for me. And I think really what it came down to was just the conversational process. Like, because at the end of the day, you can get the other stuff down and it's not that difficult if you like practice it. But when it comes to messaging, and that's what Apex has really helped me out with, is that process has a lot of nuances to it. And after about 2.5 years, when I finally came across you guys, that's when I actually finally got my first high ticket sale, which was huge to me because I had had virtually no success for 2 straight years, just trying every single thing I could. And then finally, when I joined you all, that's when I got my first high ticket sale, which was obviously absolutely amazing. It was an incredible feeling. And I have Apex to thank for, especially Jordan and Chris. And I'm so happy to be here. So that's my story in a nutshell. And that's where I'm at right now.
Heck yeah, dude. No, your story is amazing. And I definitely want to dive into how that sale came about and just walking step by step throughout that process and what that looked like for you. And I really appreciate the kind words, man. And that's something that I was curious about is what made you like want to work with us specifically? Because like you said, you've been in the affiliate marketing space for 2.5 years at the point where you came across us. I believe you invested in other different programs too. So what about us specifically made you want to work with us?
Yeah. So at the time when I was doing affiliate marketing, before I joined you guys, like I said, I was trying a lot of different things. But what I realized in myself was that I didn't get the messaging process down. And it felt like I was going in circles when I was talking to people. I was asking random questions. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I knew that problem was something that I needed to fix. But I was like, what am I going to do? Who teaches this stuff? Everyone's just talking about, hey, let's do content strategies and let's do this, email marketing, paid ads, stuff like that, right? It's like the usual stuff. But when I came across, just by luck, Jordan's profile, I saw that we had been friends for a while. And I saw one of his testimonials of actually video of like this exactly. And I was going through, I was like reading it. And I listened to this guy's story about how he literally had the exact same problem as I did. And I was like, wow, okay, this is a godsend. I didn't think this existed, but this is exactly what I need. These guys concentrate the most on the messaging process, which everyone else seems to just forget about or push to the side like it's not important, but obviously it is important. And I'm sure if you're watching this right now, you're probably thinking the same thing. Maybe I have this problem too. So really, it was just a stroke of pure luck that I ended up seeing these guys and I ended up seeing a testimonial video like this. And here I am.
I guess it was fate working for us, man. That's awesome. And how would you say your experience with us so far has been like, as far as being inside of the six-figure messaging secrets program and then the one-to-one coaching program?
Yeah, with the 6FMS program, when I first hopped into it, I noticed that it was definitely different as far as the level of support that I was getting and the depth of support I was getting. So like when you're in most, and I'm just saying this from experience, like when you're in most affiliate marketing groups, you'll ask questions, you'll have the ability to get your questions answered, but the depth that these guys went into the answers of their questions and like the care and the detail that they took in answering everyone's questions was really like more than I've ever seen. And not in a bad way, like in a really good way, not like a boring, long, drawn out, erratic way, but like the answers to the questions were like so in depth and they were answering things I didn't even think to ask, if that makes sense. Like almost like reading my mind. As far as the level of support, it's been like nothing else I've seen. And I've spent like $15,000 worth in the affiliate marketing space, like total, compared with paid ads and organic marketing programs and the like. And when I came across them, the level of support was amazing. So that's saying a lot. So that was one of the first things I noticed. And also just with the program in general, it was very in depth, like with the messaging process. They're going over things that I've never seen go over, like people go over as far as talking to people. You might see courses that say, okay, here's like how you should message people. But they were going into like the nuances, like, hey, here's how you structure your sentences and questions and things like that. I'm like, wow, okay, like this is amazing. And I think a lot of people need that. So that was what I noticed about the program. Now, as far as the one-to-one coaching goes, that was just like 10 times better, obviously, because it's one-to-one, but still with the same level, if not more in-depth level of support, because you were able to ask as many questions as you like pretty much wanted to a degree, depending on like their hours and stuff, of course. But the level of depth was still there. And when you were able to like send them like pictures of your conversations so you can go play-by-play breakdown of messaging, that's just like beyond helpful. No one else is doing that, and as far as I know. And so that really helped me to progress very fast and get to my first high ticket sale. So that's an overview of what you will be getting if you go through with 6FMS and the one-to-one coaching on top of that.
Heck yeah, man. I love that. I was going to ask you, as far as like the coaching program goes, what would you say has been one of the most helpful things that we worked on with you that you've seen like your growth accelerate the most? Because we've been doing like 60-minute Zoom calls once a week. As you said, we've been going back and forth. We've been using Voxer for you to send your conversations, and I've been helping you progress them forward and stuff like that. What would you say throughout that process has helped you the most?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So when we were going over like our messaging and our conversations together, I think looking back on it, what really has helped me improve the most in that process is the question and data gathering part. Because I think a lot of people, they kind of brush that off to the side and they don't really take the time to know the science behind asking questions and progressing the conversation like upwards into a productive sales conversation. People, like I said earlier, they just ask questions. And some people, they might say, okay, here you go. Here's like a PDF of like objection handling stuff. And like they leave it at that. But there's so much more to it that like I didn't even really realize. And I think what they've helped me with the most is the process of asking questions, of gathering data, of qualifying prospects and leads. So you're not just wasting your time and Mester just talking to random people who will never buy your stuff, which is completely useless. So the time saving that has been granted to me as far as them teaching me the messaging process from the beginning of turning strangers into friends, into customers and repeated customers, especially the first half of it, they've definitely helped me out with, which arguably is the most important part in the messaging process. Because if you get that wrong, then the rest of the part becomes a lot more difficult, which I began to learn as I began to keep working and working with them. But especially the data gathering process and the process of knowing what to ask, even when you don't have their help, was just invaluable.
I really appreciate that. And I asked that because I know when we started to do the one-to-one, your conversations were a night and day difference. There was just a few things that we just had to tweak. It was just very minor things. But then once you made those tweaks, like I could like literally see within probably a week or so, just the night and day difference with your conversations is just how fast you were progressing them, how you were getting the right information. So you knew exactly what that person was trying to achieve in their business, what they were having a hard time with, what they tried to do in the past, or what they're doing right now that wasn't currently working. And then once you knew all that, making the offer, because at that point that would make the most sense and you would have the highest chances of closing the deal, which you ended up doing. So would you mind just giving us a little bit more detail? Like, how did that deal come about? How much did you make in a day? What did we work on together to make that happen, if you don't mind sharing that? Because I think it was a really cool deal that you closed.
Yeah. My first high ticket sale, which was definitely special to me after 2 years, virtually no success. And like you were mentioning, we've been working like 2 weeks or something together. And then I finally got that. So after 2 years, like that's a crazy amount of progress to make in about 2 weeks. So if you've been in doing this like for a while, think about the power of just like 2 weeks with these guys. Amazing. That says a lot. Now, as far as the sale went, what I realized I was doing wrong, like I said, was like asking the questions wrong. So we were like doing the play-by-play messaging stuff. I was sending him screenshots of the beginning parts of the conversation. And he was telling me, okay, maybe we should ask this. He was guiding me. He was telling me the why behind why, what we're asking to, which is very important. At the beginning, beginning, when we were getting the data, we were getting goals, struggles, challenges, that sort of thing, I knew exactly what I was asking. And so every question was like almost perfectly crafted so that I could get a good situational awareness of where they're at and of where I want to take the conversation. So when I was progressing it and then into the latter half of the sale, it went like very smoothly. And I think the sale took, I've been talking to this person for maybe 2 weeks or something. So it wasn't like that long of a process. Like in order to just talk to someone for 2 weeks and then sell them on what I sold them was a personal high ticket $1,500 offer that I got 100% commission for because I made my own offer. Thanks to Jordan and Chris, by the way, too, just as a little bonus from them. But the sale went very smoothly. It didn't feel unethical. It didn't feel weird or sketchy or anything. It was completely natural process of just understanding the person's situation and then asking the right questions and then getting the person to actually take action that benefits them and it's best for me and for the prospect and now customer. And that's again, thanks to Jordan and Chris, just for breaking it down so well and going from the beginning to the end and understanding like that process so well. They were imparting that knowledge upon me, which I will now carry for the rest of my life. So that sale now I will be able to use as a benchmark and as a great example for me to reference for the rest of my life and see, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do next, and so on and so forth. So that sale is very special to me.
Dude, I absolutely love that. And one thing that was very inspiring to me, because you're 21, Austin.
That's right.
Yeah. So when we first met, I thought you were like around my age because I didn't know that you were 21 until a couple of weeks ago when we had our call. I was like, shoot, like he's just 21 because you carry yourself so well and you're very mature for your age. But I thought what was inspiring about your story is that you're 21 and you closed your first $1,500 deal in a day. Whereas when I was your age, I was working at Target, stocking shelves overnight, making $1,500 in a month. So it was just really cool to see your progression. And I appreciate you allowing us to work with you to be a part of that journey with you and helping you get to that point where you're closing your first $1,500 deal. Because that to me, I just think is inspiring that you did that at such a young age. And I wanted to ask you, so you closed your first $1,500 deal. It's all yours, right? You got the entire payout because it's your own custom coaching offer. So that was a monetary result. But what would you say the non-monetary results of the coaching has been for you so far that you've been able to see with you as far as like your mindset, your beliefs, what you can see is possible for you? Because the reason why I said that is because you sent me a very awesome voice note when you were on your way to Germany, right? You're at the airport, and I can tell in your tonality in that voice note, you were saying like, oh, like now I know what's possible. Like I thought there was a club where only these people who made sales, they can only hang out, and it's very hard to get into that club. So now that you see, okay, this is what it's like to close my first $1,500 deal. Now I know what's possible. I know what this feels like. I see all these other people getting results. I knew it was possible, but I've only seen other people get results, but now I have my own, which I know that makes it infinitely more believable. What would you say have been the non-monetary results of that monetary result of you closing your first $1,500 deal after 2.5 years of being in the high ticket affiliate marketing space?
Yeah, so I would say first and foremost, just a complete 100% boost in my confidence, in my skill set. Because when you close your first deal, like after 2 years, like it feels amazing. And you finally feel like you're not just drudging along, you're just doing whatever it takes. You're just going throughout the motions day to day. And so when I got that sale, really energized me. And when I was thinking back, like after I got it, I realized that everything is really like pretty simple. You just have to have patience. And I think patience is a good thing too that I've gathered. Like you can't rush the process whatsoever. Like you can't rush the sale. You can't rush success. It takes time, like a work of art. You have to paint it. You have to take your time. And I think that's what you all have taught me as well. Just going throughout the process. And I know when I was working with you guys, like you said, I made a lot of progress. And at the beginning, I was like rushing things a lot. I was rushing the sales, rushing the questions. I was just speed running it. I was thinking, okay, let me get this as fast as possible. And you're like, hold on a second. So really that taught me like, okay, hold on a second. Like you can either try and get the sale fast or you can make sure you get the sale. And so what they taught me from this is just complete patience, what you call like monk mode in a way. I realized like how to like also maintain the schedule that I'm in the Army as well. And it's difficult to balance like that with with doing high ticket affiliate marketing, which they allowed me to do. And they like handheld me through, okay, this is what you're going to do here. This is what you're going to do here. And there wasn't any like gray area of me thinking like, oh, how am I going to fit this into my schedule? How am I going to be patient enough to do this? And how am I going to like actually be successful? They gave me the skills to be successful. They gave me that knowledge, that experience. They gave me that insight that I needed. And that has been so helpful. And as far as like the mindset goes, they helped me realize that really at the end of the day, even though it didn't seem like it, perseverance and hard work, that really is what makes success and what makes people achieve their goals at the end of the day. I know it sounds simple, but after being in this industry, you realize it's not easy. And these guys, they tell you what you need to know and not just what you want to know. And I think that's very important because that is what you need to be successful. So as far as the mindset stuff goes, they've really helped me with that as well. As far as being patient, of working hard, of me persevering, they've been along with me every step of the way, encouraging me, cheering me on, supporting me every step. And that's really been invaluable as well. Not just with the monetary result, which is amazing, but it's like you have to become that person who's able to make 10K a month, not just become the person who makes money first. And that is what they helped me to do, is become that person that I needed to become in order for me to be successful, which is absolutely key.
That was very well said. And the thing is, at the end of the day, yes, we may have provided you guidance, but none of that would have mattered without you putting in the work, like trusting in us first, which we appreciate you and we don't take that lightly at all. We're honored that you decided to work with us. But at the end of the day, you still had to put in the work. You still had to listen to what I said, what Chris said, implement it in your conversations and in your content, and just simply take action consistently day by day and just be really good at listening, right? Asking good questions and listening, because a lot of people, they have the information if they've invested in coaching programs and courses and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't take action. So that's more so something I want you to think about, is the fact that you're the one that put in the work. Like, you did it, you're the one that earned the result, and that's the thing that you should be proud of. And it's like what I said to you in our voice note. Once you made that sale, I told you the thing that you should be proud about the most is not so much that you made the sale, but the fact that you've been in this space for 2.5 years without achieving your breakthrough sale during that time, but you were able to withstand the roller coasters, the hardships of your journey, because we all have them. And you were able to stay, as you said, patient enough to then achieve that breakthrough sale. Because I've been in this space for 4 years now, over 4 years. And most people who, if they don't see a result in 3 to 6 months, they're out and they call it quits. And that, in my opinion, is the thing that you should be the most proud of, that you didn't give up, because you can't fail as long as you keep going and you don't stop. And I have 2 more questions, but the one question, I think this is going to be the most important one in my opinion, is what kept you going throughout these 2.5 years, despite the fact that you, like you said, 21 years old and you've already spent $15,000 in coaching programs and stuff like that. Like, I didn't even start investing in courses until I was like 22, 23. So you're already ahead of me in that regard. But what kept you going, even when life and business was up and down, even when maybe there was times where you had doubt and maybe you were like, oh, I can't do this, or I don't think this is for me. Maybe it was hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. What kept you going? What kept you investing in these other programs and ultimately allowed you to be patient enough to then achieve this breakthrough sale, which has now opened up a whole new world to you? And I bet, assuming here, that now there's no turning back. What's possible now, is time to go out and get more and really maximize your potential based on what you've been able to achieve and what you understand that you can achieve and what you will achieve.
Yeah. So that's a great question. For me, like, what really attracted me first to the industry, I think that's where I have to start, is the ability for me to achieve, let's say, time, financial, and location freedom with my life, and also to change the lives of my family, my friends, and to do the things in life that I actually wanted to do, to make a difference in the world, to do good upon the world, to make good things happen while I'm here on this earth. And I didn't want to just live like an average 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 life like most people want to live, this gray sort of existence. I knew that is something that I just couldn't settle for. And at the end of the day, when I realized the ability that affiliate marketing could give me as far as creating the life that I wanted to create, that is what kept me going. It's just keeping that in my mind all the time, every day, thinking about it all the time. That, as well as just the patience that I've built up over the years of just things that I've done in my life, of knowing that I just shouldn't give up no matter what it is I do, to always finish what I start, which I actually learned just from martial arts. Some guy taught me, or he just said that to me in passing. passing, it really stuck with me. I'm like, I always have to finish what I start. And affiliate marketing isn't going to be that exception, because I realized at the end of the day, I could either invest in myself, and I could invest, and which is really the best investment you can make. I could either invest in myself, or I could give up and I could just go back to square one. And those were really just the two options that you have. And I realized that. And I knew that once I was going on this path of affiliate marketing, there really isn't any going back, because I'm not going to give up. I'm not that kind of person who just quits after doing something and realizing, oh, this is hard. Okay, whatever. Let me just go back to it, right? I'm not going to lie, though. Although I realized all that is definitely difficult. For 2 straight years of just absolutely virtually no success whatsoever, while you see people saying, oh, I just made my first high ticket sale here on Facebook, you're scrolling and scrolling. And then you think to yourself, why isn't that me? Why isn't that me? But what I also realized is that these people who are making success, who are doing these things that were right, they were getting them sales, I realized they're not that much smarter than me. They're not better than me, because we're all just people at the end of the day. And I just realized that, and luckily I just had this innate wisdom that I just knew there was something off in the process. If you're not succeeding in this industry, you're literally just doing one tiny thing wrong. It's like Jordan told me actually in a voice message when we were doing our one-to-one stuff. He said it's just the littlest of things that make the difference. It really is just the tiniest of things. You could be saying something wrong in the conversation. Your content could be slightly off. Your branding could be off. You're adding the wrong people. There could be a million reasons that something isn't working and you're not succeeding to the level that you want to succeed at. And that's really what I had to realize after 2 years, made me realize that, just that the fact that I'm just doing something wrong. And it's just as simple as that. It's not you. It's not that you're stupid. It's not that you can't do it. Okay. Because everyone can do this, really, if you don't give up, because that's really the only way you lose in this industry, especially doing organic marketing. You're not really spending all that much money. So really, you're just doing a bunch of trial and error that eventually you will succeed, right? If you just keep doing it. You just have to be patient. You just have to be just patient. You have to remain level-headed. And when I always kept that thought in my mind of what could be possible with my life every day, doing this over and over again, incorporating it in my schedule, making it a part of my life, I realized that I actually enjoy this. And also, this is the only way that I will truly get what I want in life, because the other route is going, let's say 30, 40 years later down the road. And then you being one of those people that says, oh, I wish I had done this. You have regret. And if you have regret at 30 years from now, what were you doing 30 years back? And you just have to have that insight. You just have to think. You have to be wise. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to just have patience. And you have to do the right things that are hard and difficult. And that's really the only way forward. You have to take the narrow path that is difficult and not the wide and easy one.
I wish I was as wise and as forward thinking as you were, or as you are when I was your age. And I hope at least that people really pay attention to that part, because I believe there's a lot more people that relate to that have been in the high ticket affiliate marketing space or just building their own online business. And maybe they've been in it for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or over 2 years, and they haven't seen any type of breakthrough sale or result. But that's why I also wanted you to share your story, because you're going to be a beacon of hope, a symbolization of what is possible when you keep going and you're able to endure the hard times, even when you're uncertain, even when you have self-doubt, even when things aren't looking the greatest. Because we all have bad days, even the people who are achieving results and having success, we all have good and bad days. But being able to stay consistent and keep working towards your goals and building your business and achieving the life that you want to live, despite all the hardships and the roadblocks and the up and downs of business and stuff like that, whatever life and business has to throw at you, still staying strong and consistent to then seek out and achieve what you want out of life and what you want out of your business. I think that is the most important thing that we all should be striving for. And you're definitely an amazing example of that. So I definitely wanted to highlight you when it comes to that. And as I've been telling you, I couldn't be more proud of you. So with that being said, last question for anyone that may be on the fence as far as like joining us inside of our 6-figure messaging secrets program, where they can get access to the course that literally goes over everything that we teach in terms of creating a highly profitable personal brand, creating content content that generates inbound leads that pay you anywhere from $100 to $5,000 in a day. And of course, like what we teach in depth A through Z when it comes to messaging, having conversations, closing deals in Messenger without hopping on sales calls and stuff like that. And then of course, accelerating that process and working with us in our one-to-one, like what you and I have been doing, like hopping on 60-minute Zoom calls once a week, going back and forth in Voxer, like helping you progress your conversations forward to the point where you're closing your own $1,500 deals in the DMs. What would you say to those people who may be on the fence from joining us inside one of those programs?
Yeah. So if you're on the fence, hop over it. Just hop over it. It's lush green pastures on the other side, which is Apex CEOs. You got to join it because if you're having these messaging problems, just generally speaking, and everything that you just said, if you want to build your business upon using that strategy, and if you think you need that strategy in order to succeed, these are the guys who are going to teach you that the best. Okay. There's really nobody else here in this industry, this big industry of people that are really doing this as well as them. And the results speak for themselves. They've had multiple people get high ticket sales through their messaging secret and their messaging process, their coaching, the program itself, the support, the group coaching, everything. It's like first quality, some of the best I've seen. Like I said before, I've spent like $15,000 in this industry, like over the course of 2 years. So the fact that I say this is one of the best programs you can join is just, that should say a lot, right? After someone who's spent that much money, it really, there's not much more that needs to be said, except that these guys are just the best of the best when it comes to messaging and when it comes to solving that problem, as well as incorporating your content as well. They do include that stuff as well. But when it comes to all that, these people are your guys, and don't put off achieving success to the level you want to get at. Don't say, oh, I'll do it later, because it's like the ancient proverb goes, I think the Chinese said this. They said the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Okay. So if you jump over that fence now, that is going to be the best chance of success that you will have in your life. And as far as getting to that level that you want to get at, you have to jump over that fence now and go and invest with Apex CEOs.
I'm going to drop an invisible mic right there. But with that being said, Austin, dude, I appreciate you sharing your story with myself and everyone that would be watching this. Like I said, you're a beacon of hope. I'm very proud of you. As I've been telling you, your progress in the one-to-one coaching program especially has been tremendous. You've been, it's like I said, transforming like night and day. Like your transformation has been amazing to see. You've gotten so much better just with your communication skills, being able to be patient, pay attention to what people are saying to you inside Messenger, and just overall, just being a great client, really taking action on what we teach you, listening, and even asking amazing questions, and just really giving it your all in your business and making it more than a pleasure working with you, man. I know I've been saying this, but I couldn't be more proud of you. So with that being said, man, like where can people follow you if they want to follow you along your journey and just continue to see you prosper?
Yeah, sure. Just the name, Austin Campbell. Type it in on Facebook. You'll see my face. I have some hair in the picture. Maybe I'll change it a little later. But you can follow me there and see what I'm up to.
Austin, thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait to continue doing some amazing work with you, my man. You have a lot of great things that you're going to be achieving in your future. And I can't wait to see all of that unfold. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man.